thing. International sensation and fitness model. or Fatugo, as the girls like to call him, the white girls. We're here shooting some content for LiftFit for their clearance sale, because they have some big shit coming, but we're keeping hush-hush on that right now. I am 7 weeks out. Yeah. Phet is 57 weeks out.
I'm in a mini cut.
So he is in a mini cut.
We've got abs good, now, finally.
But 7 weeks out, I'm training legs.
Yeah.
Pet's training chest and hamstrings. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown today in terms of where I am in my prep, what it feels like to be 7 weeks out, and how I've kind of adapted my leg training over the last few weeks to just accommodate for higher levels of fatigue at this point. This allows you to fucking lock in. You can push hard against this pad, really get locked in, like literally no movements at your hips whatsoever. And it becomes the best fucking seated leg curl I've ever used. It's like a perfect example of just like with machines, you have to fit the machine around your structure and biomechanics. Because you could just have like slightly skinnier or slightly thicker quads than I do, and this isn't an issue.
Slightly skinnier in this example.
My skinny leg getting
Dude, this guy's legs are ridiculous.
I mean,
Just this, and it comes down.
And then make it fuck tight. Like you can even put it on the one, push, 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 push. There you go.
Right. Snap my knees.
Now use your hands to push into the pad and back.
Okay.
Like legitimately, I'm not a fan of saying there is a best exercise for X body part, but realistically, if there were a best isolation exercise for a hamstring,
Yeah.
a good seated leg curl would probably be it, just because stability and bracing is going to be everything when you're trying to isolate a particular muscle group. And the way that a seated leg curl is set up just really, really allows you to brace super hard, immense amounts of stability. You're not getting any movements at the hips. Like in a lying leg curl, like you see a lot of that, like back arching and hip travel. This, you're getting none of that. No, bro, I'm just a very intense guy.
quit your job.
I'm just a very intense guy. This is why LiftFit wanted Phet here, because they're like, you're just going to be scowling and talking about moment arms and mechanical tension, and we need to bring up the good looking, the sexy quotient.
See, once you start speaking technical talk, your face changes. I don't know if you saw in the show day reel. In the show day reel, it was hilarious. Sitting there watching it, and then it switches over from someone asking you a question about the salt.
Yeah.
And driving fluid into the muscle.
Yeah.
And you were like giggly, 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 and as soon as the question comes up, you were like, yeah, no.
I've gotten that feedback a lot, bro. This is a combo, by the way. Amino X9 Tropical Punch, and then the peak hydration electrolytes, Pina Colada, bitch. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to
Push, bro.
Hey,
Push, push, push. Yeah, push,
help me
push.
push down, please. Help me. Help me, daddy. There you
we
go.
Let's go. Nice pause at the top. There you go. Lovely.
That feels so good.
That's some fucking control right there. I was training with Nick Cronier and Restivo yesterday.
Yeah.
Both ex-rugby players. I was giving them a long speech about like, stop there, still just a warm-up. Giving them a long speech about like the mental change that needs to happen when you're an athlete training for performance, strength, power, versus a bodybuilder, where it's like very, very targeted.
Yeah.
You're not just like dropping a nuclear bomb on a city, you're trying to hit a bullseye on a target, you know?
That's so clever, yeah?
Yeah. So I sent them, Dr. Mike and Jared Feather have a very cool video where they're training with this NFL linebacker, this Samoan dude that looks like The Rock.
Yeah.
But he's like a, I don't know, what is the NFL? Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's like a Super Bowl champion. He's got the ring and everything. Sure. And I applied the same kind of logic to them that they were applying to him.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like such a different way of doing things. It can be unusual for an ex athlete. Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
It's unusual for because
To move into a bodybuilding way of doing things, but
because in bodybuilding, your performance is before show day.
yeah,
Whereas you're building up to perform on a specific day when you're an athlete like that. So your output is going to be greatest on the event that you're competing at.
correct.
Whereas for us, we just show day.
How do you find your working set weight? Well, you kind of find it once from a new movement perspective. You know what it is from having done that movement for a long time. It's like part of a bigger conversation. It's like I was speaking to a client earlier this week. She's like, I just don't think that I can do the same training plan for more than 8 weeks. And I said to her, you want to be an athlete, right? She's like, yes. And I'm like, well, what you're saying is like a golfer saying to his coach, oh, I want to be a professional golfer, but I don't want to practice my golf swing anymore. I want to practice my tennis swing. Like, you do the same movements over and over again. It's skill acquisition. Every time you perform a movement, you get better at it. When you get better at it, you're able to drive more tension through the target muscle. When you drive more tension through the target muscle, you elicit a greater growth response. It is skill acquisition over time. It's like, you're not gonna, if I think, hey, the seated leg curl, I have a great mind-muscle connection, I elicit a lot of tension through the hamstrings, which is a point that a body part that I'm trying to address. Why am I gonna swap it out for the sake of novelty with a dumbbell RDL when I don't connect with that as well? It's like, if this is working, keep it in. If you have a business and you're implementing a strategy that's working and your revenue is growing year on year, why are you changing your strategy? It's basic principles of life that people don't apply to training. Oh, I'm bored, I want something new. It's like, cool, if you're, you know what I mean? If you're just doing this shit for fun, cool, I completely understand that.
Yeah.
But if you want to be an athlete, or even if you don't want to be an athlete, if you just want a really specific outcome, then you have to train with the specific outcome in mind.
Yeah.
Not quite. What I like is putting on my lifting belt, and I'm like, every week it's another notch. I'm like, okay, I'm getting leaner. Alright, I'm getting leaner.
That's the issue. Once I hit like 78 centimeters,
Yeah?
I knew my belt was going on to the last number already. I was like, okay.
Dude, I'm the worst fucking South African ever.
What?
Because I've basically just forgotten how to use kilograms and centimeters. It's all inches and feet and inches to me.
American clients,
And pounds.
we are moving over to kilograms, centimeters,
But do you know why I like using pounds?
pounds is more accurate.
Yeah, I guess in a way, because it's smaller increments.
Yeah.
But psychologically, it helps. When you're like, okay, cool, I'm half a pound down. Whereas if it was kilograms, that would be like 0.18 or something, you know? It's like, it's insignificant, you know? It's insignificant. Half a pound sounds like a lot. Like 0.18 kilograms sounds like fucking nothing.
Okay, so
And also, don't fucking do the math at home, because I know that's probably wrong. But you get the point.
I like the psychological aspect of it. Like, you feel like you're accomplishing something and
Yeah.
it motivates you.
Bro, the hacks that I've been finding this prep for food.
it's amazing, eh?
Yeah, dude. Fats and I were having the conversation the other day, because she's really back into it now, like diet nutrition wise and stuff, and like really focusing on it.
Yeah.
And she's not in a deficit. She's kind of in what I'd call a Paul didn't phrase it like this, but essentially what I call for my clients like a pre-prep phase, where it's like, okay, you're not in a deficit, you're not in a surplus, you're in maintenance. We're focusing on training, performance, recovery, body composition, but she's tightening things up in terms of food choices.
Yeah.
And we're eating a lot of the same stuff. And she literally said to me, it's like, I have zero cravings. I just want more of what we're eating because it's so fucking good. And I was like, I know.
Yeah.
I said to her, I keep thinking about post-show and what I want to eat.
Yeah.
And I've been making these mug cakes with cream of rice, the SSA whey isolate, And then I take half the whey isolate and I mix it into the mug cake. And I take half the whey isolate and I make it into like a thick paste and I use that as like a frosting. And then berries on top. And like the only thing I can think about post-show is just making a fucking huge one of those. So I decided to pierce my nose before I compete. I've always wanted to do it. Fats is like, she doesn't like nose rings on men. And I said to her, listen bro, it's not like a tattoo. I'm gonna do it for the show. If I don't like it, if you don't like it, I'll just take it out afterwards. But like, I don't know man, I'm just feeling this like, weird sense. There she is. Rocking the LiftFit too. As always, I've been speaking about you the whole time.
Of course you have. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
I find it so sexy on men and attractive.
What that I find what attractive?
A nose ring.
It's super attractive on men and like you just can't wait. It's gonna be visceral.
Yeah, no, I'm so amped.
What's your training today?
Upper body.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
What's your training?
Pets here, legs. Yeah,
Sorry.
pets here.
I saw him now.
I told the YouTubes about, baby, I'm looking shredded today. Huh?
Can I just, in fairness?
Oh, you have to hear her perspective as well,
Okay.
to be fair.
Thank you very much. The question was asked at 5 a.m. this morning. Fats? Baby, do I look shredded?
I can concur that it was done at 5 a.m.
5 a.m. This is my life, guys.
I love you though.
Love you too. How you, Joel?
Actually, like look at a lot of relationships, and I don't understand it when the two people aren't friends. Fats is like my best friend, so I get to spend every day with my best friend. We talk about fucking everything. We'll literally put the TV on, not pay one piece of attention to it, and just have conversations about every single topic under the sun over and over and over again. It's like you have to be friends with the person. You have to like want to spend your time with them, and that has to be 50-50. Yeah.
But I also think that like in this day and age, people are so concerned with how much somebody else is bringing to the table.
Yeah.
I think it's really important that you always take a step back and go, but what do I want out of this? Like what is the thing that's...
What am I bringing to the table?
What am I bringing to the table, but also what do I want? You have to have expectations of other people.
Your legs are looking juicy.
Thanks, my dear.
This gym has created a very, very special culture in this industry. You don't get this with chain gyms, where people are literally traveling from an hour and a half away just to come train here. Because yes, the equipment, but the community, the people, it's like, I guess in a sense, what CrossFit offer, why that's so alluring is that sense of community. I feel like My Fitness are doing that. It's very, very special. An expansion coming 1st of July. Yeah, baby. Not while I'm doing it, I'll tell you afterwards. I'm not taking my leg work, or more specifically my quad work, to like absolute failure now. Like I said, I think you got it earlier, my muscle connection with my quads is so up there that it just elicits a huge amount of fatigue and prep. So this I swapped out with leg press, which is the specific movement that I feel like really drives a lot of fatigue for me, because I just absolutely hammer my quads on it. The Bulgarian split squat, people, mainly my bikini clients, wellness clients, etc., are going to be like, how could you swap out leg press for Bulgarians? Because Bulgarians are glute emphasis. Depends how you set them up. So I'm taking a little bit of a narrower stance between my front and back leg, the planted leg and the elevated leg. I have a slightly greater lean forward in my torso, and I'm wearing my squat shoes. So if you, at the bottom of the movement, if you draw a line down from the tip of my knee to where my toe is, you'll see that I'm in a pretty significant amount of knee flexion. And though you will absolutely still hit glute, people have this idea of like, oh, this exercise is for this exercise is for this, and that means you don't hit anything else. Bullshit. You're going to be, the way that I'm setting this up is a quad bias Bulgarian split squat. I will still be getting in a ton of glute because you're still getting hip movement as well. But if you're trying to make this glute bias, you're going to take a slightly larger step forward. You're going to have more of an upright torso, and you're going to look at, instead of your knee traveling forward like that, you're going to be wanting your hip to travel back like that. So that will just be the subtle difference. Also take note, I don't just rest between rounds. It's a taxing exercise, so you actually want to regain your breath between individual legs. So I actually just wanted to talk about the kind of like pre, intra, post nutrition, supplementation, etc. But I think that is actually quite detailed, so I think we should probably leave that for another vlog. But I have changed up the pre-workout strategy differently to what a lot of people would assume. I think you would think, hey, deep in prep, take all the stimulants to give you that energy to push through. So around about 3-4 weeks ago, so like 10 weeks out, is where I really started pushing and digging quite deep. At the same time, as you could expect, I started getting some like gastrointestinal issues. And first thing Luke said was like, okay, let's review caffeine and stimulant consumption. So what I've started doing is, instead of having 2 Monsters or Slayers or whatever energy drinks per day, I have 1, but I dilute it with water. And then I've switched from the Hellfire Black to the Organic F Pump, which still has some caffeine, but a lower amount and less other stimulants, and more like just general performance enhancers, lactate buffers, etc. And as soon as I did that, I gave it about 3 days. As soon as I did that, my GI issue ceased. So sometimes the logic of the more fatigued you are, the more stimulants you should take is flawed. And even though it can acutely make you feel better, long term, not the best thing. Hello, Hanli. How are you? Future Pro. Future Pro. There we go. So I've only been working with Hanli now for like, I don't know, 2 months. She competed for the first time last year and fucking won. She's doing a show towards the end of the year in Cape Town. It's going to be a competitive one, but I have very high hopes for her. Genetic phenom, and like got into it so late in life. She's incredible. This exercise can honestly just be like, you know, squats and shit are like systemically taxing, but there's nothing that fucking burns and just hurts like a leg extension done properly. You know?
And especially at the end of, towards the end of a workout when you're like fatigued already.
Yeah. Look at this man pressing 3 plates here. Look at those biceps. I know they're his biceps, but I built those.
I feel like he
Just so you know.
he bought them on loan, what? Okay,
Ah.
3, 2, oh, you go.
Guys never want to do this adductor machine because they think it's an exercise for girls. Yes, no, good girl, bad girl. But the reality is that for a competitive male bodybuilder, in your front and back poses, you are going to be exposed over and over again if you have that thigh gap. In your front relax, back relax, front double bicep, back double bicep, front lat spread, rear lat spread, you have that gap between your thighs. Nothing is going to target that area like this. And it's just those fine details that put the finishing touches on your physique, and especially at the amateur level, separate you from the other competitors. Righty, we are done.
Bodybuilding is my life. I love this shit. So I had a client that signed up like 3 weeks ago, okay? And he reached out to me on Friday. He's like, no, he wants to cancel his subscription because his life is too crazy and he can't do things this way and he can't do things that way. And this is taking too much time and that's taking too much time. And I reached back out to him and I said, hey, listen, coaching is problem solving. That's literally what it is. Coaching is problem solving. You tell me what the obstacles are and we will make this process as efficient and pressure-free for you as possible. Now, the sad thing is that you didn't listen to me, but that is the reality. In the absence of like somebody phoning me every 5 minutes, like I can optimize. If you're not a competitor and you're just wanting to change your physique for the better, hey, I want to lose 5 kilograms, 10 kilograms, I want to be healthy, I want to see my grandchildren grow up. You can make this process easy and efficient. You just need to communicate with me. Communication is the key. Phet and I have a successful marriage because we communicate. Phet and I have a successful friendship because we communicate, and coaching is the same thing. Communicate the issues, we will resolve them.